Today we're talking with Matthew Kingore again, but this time we are getting into track workouts. Today I am coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, which is the province in Canada that's just north of Montana. Last week we spent the whole week just heading up here. We started out in Waco, then our first stop was Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and this is where we're gonna stay for the night because Cracker Barrels let you sleep overnight. And then we stayed at an awesome park in Spearfish, South Dakota, which was just gorgeous. There was like a babbling brook and wild turkeys, and we saw some deer. That was really neat. And then made it to Calgary on Friday after a very scary, windy drive. Training is going to take a little bit of an adjustment for me because as you can see, there's snow on the ground here, and there's a fair amount of ice too, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to dress so that I'm warm but I'm not super bulky. So any of you out there that are used to running in super cold weather, leave any advice down below in the comments for me that you can. It would be greatly appreciated. I need to bark at the neighbors. Okay, Pop, you go inside. You go inside. Okay, so let's get down to what you really came here for. So a couple of weeks ago, we introduced you to Matthew Kingore, who is an awesome running coach from Dallas, Texas. And he and I took you through some jargon, not only to get you ready for the knowledge that we're about to drop on you in this video, but also, just help you make sure that you're understanding everything in your workouts and in your training moving forward. So today, Matthew is going to talk to you all about track workouts. He's going to talk to you about what a track workout is, why you might want to do one, when you might want to add this into your training routine.
Okay, a track workout is done usually on a 400-meter track like we have here where we are today. It's a flat surface. It's measured 400 meters, about a quarter of a mile, give or take a few meters. That allows you a consistent surface on which to do speed work. It allows you to time yourself to the lap rather than, say, a longer interval, like running in your neighborhood or running in a park where you may be hitting those lap splits on your watch, but really what is happening inside of that mile? Or do you want to break down a workout where you don't have to do a whole mile at a time into smaller pieces? Work on that speed by doing a track workout like 400s, which is one lap or a quarter mile at a fast pace, maybe a 5K pace, but followed by some recovery time. And that could be a slow jogging lap, maybe just half a lap if that's all you need, depending on where you are, or even just standing rest to catch your breath. And you would repeat that a set number of times. So if you had a workout that looks like 10 times 400 meters, it's 10 intervals around the track. That's gonna add up to 2.5 miles, but you're gonna have that rest between. So you know what splits you wanna hit every quarter mile. You can time yourself on the track. It's flat, you're not running up and down hills, thinking about that affecting your pace. Even though that is gonna be part of the race conditions, this is just a stripped down, simplified way to focus, hone in on the speed work.
One of the reasons that I really love track workouts is the consistency it gives me. I know that my speed and my lap times are not being affected by things like terrain, like stopping at stoplights. And that consistency allows me to accurately measure the progress that I'm making.
Absolutely, you want to be able to compare one day to the next, 1 week to the next, chart your progress, but also inside of a workout, be able to compare where you started and where you finished. Was the first lap as fast as the last lap? Was the last lap even faster? Or do you have something that we need to correct through some different kinds of workouts? Do you tend to trail off at the end of workouts? Are those last laps getting slower and slower? And what can we do to keep you from burning out at the end of the race? So that consistency that it provides, you're not blaming it on, oh, well, I had to turn here in the neighborhood, run up that hill, or the wind was in my face. Track is the same every time you go around.
So next, let's dig a little bit deeper into why you might want to incorporate track workouts into your regular running routine.
So track workouts are very important for speed development. And it does depend on what your running goals are, how much or if at all you want to incorporate track workouts. If you're training for a 5K or a 10K, I suggest coming out to a track like this maybe once a week and making that a regular workout where you'll do up to 3 miles of intervals, 4 or 5 miles of intervals at a 10K pace if you're training for a 10K. But maybe they're not so important if you're training for a marathon. If you want to run a fast marathon, then you've got to be able to run for 3, 4, 5 hours. Probably not something you want to do on a 400-meter track. So they do tend to lend themselves to some of those shorter, faster, more intense events. But if used widely, they break up the monotony of training sometimes. One of these every other week or one every month can make a marathon training plan a little more interesting. Don't throw them in when you need an easy day. Don't do it the day before, the day after a long run. But if you've got a tempo workout on Thursday and you're tired of those 3-mile tempo runs, maybe come to the track and do 3 miles of intervals instead, just to give yourself that variety, because there's an infinite way to structure track workouts that can keep that running interesting. It's supposed to be fun, and the track is another tool in your arsenal to keep that variety in your training.
Okay, so if you're not quite sure where to find a track, most high schools and universities are going to have them, and they're most likely going to be that 400-meter or quarter-mile distance. But not all tracks are created equal, so if you find one at maybe a middle school or an indoor track at a gym, make sure that you just check to see what the official distance is, because if you're running on it assuming it's a quarter mile, it's gonna kind of mess up your results. Now I've just got to find a track that is not covered in snow. All right, guys, you have a great week. Stay safe, have fun training, and I will see you right back here next Tuesday. One of the reasons that I really love work track, and that consistent. It's so heavy. It's so heavy.